Oh my god. All right, this just caught my attention. Not that I have I don't have any issues with what Geega is saying. For people who don't know who Geega is, she used to be part of VShojo as well. And we already know how VShojo ended. So I just thought the topic is pretty interesting to talk about. The golden age of VTubers is over. So we will watch the video. The video is not that long. Mostly it's gonna be us just talking about it. I just thought it might be very interesting to talk about. Is the golden age of VTubers actually over, or is it just people just being hyperbolic?
I feel like the golden age of VTubers is over, though I'm happy I was there for the good times. I think you're just dooming. Your last three messages just sound like dooming, and I don't think it's that bad. I think a lot of people are dooming, though. It's not just you. Not in this chat, but I mean in general. Like on Twitter, I keep seeing people dooming, and they're like, oh my god, VTubing the good times, and they're looking back at the good times. Thing is, there have always been really bad times littered throughout these good times.
Okay. Straight off the bat, I'm gonna say this. The people who are saying that the VTuber golden era is over are the people we're watching specific kind of VTubers, like the more on the corporate side VTubers. I've seen a huge influx of people saying that the golden age is over after the collapse of Niji Sanji, after the collapse of Ishoujo, and after specific VTubers left Hololive, like Garagura. It just speaks more on what people are watching than anything, because I actually see a lot of VTubers right now rising up out of nowhere. A lot of indie VTubers just growing overnight. No corpos, nothing. It's just VTubers. Not even VTubers, it's content creators who just happen to be VTubers.
Yeah.
So especially right now with all the customizable VTuber models that people can buy, it's like what, $100 for a model which you can completely customize, and people won't even know that you don't have a custom model that you paid thousands for. So if anything, I feel like VTubing is booming right now. It might feel less like booming because it's not as corporate in Western scene anymore. VTubers had golden age. I think a lot of people refer to the golden age of VTubers mostly like the COVID time, because people had nothing else to do other than being locked up at home and watching Twitch and whatnot. I wouldn't say the golden age of VTubers is over. Yeah, I think the golden age hasn't even started, in my opinion.
DK says the corporal golden era is over. VTuber in general, not anywhere close. Yeah.
Yeah.
The golden era for like corporal VTubers are definitely shifting. You can kind of taste it in the air. But VTubers in general, it's gonna keep growing. Like we haven't even hit peak yet.
Yeah, like the second being a VTuber will become like more standardized and normalized, that's when it will start hitting the golden era.
I think it's just like, in hindsight, it's very easy to bury a lot of that, you know, to remember a couple of the big things and everything else gets buried. Yeah, roasted goggles for sure. Put the glasses on. I don't know if you guys remember, I was a VTuber. I was on Twitter and I was existing in social circles, whatever, in like 2020. And then I was streaming in early 2021. Around that time, I remember especially for that first year, a lot of the female VTubers on Twitter were constantly posting about how much they hate men, they hate male VTubers, male VTubers.
Nothing changed. Nothing changed. It's still the same bullshit.
Are never gonna make it, and they were like crazy mean toward like every male in existence. I don't know if you guys remember this, but I remember them being like that, like a lot of them, and it was just like a trend. It was like funny to post like that to them, and it was because no male VTubers in the EN space had popped off yet, and I was like, whoa. I was like, I get the jokes here and there, but like they were really like doing it too much,
really
right? Like any joke can be funny.
A lot of people who are the ones saying stuff like, oh, I wish there was more guy VTubers. Oh, I wish there were like more VTubers who do XYZ. I wish there were more VTubers who would do retro games. I wish there were more VTubers who would go into old school Let's Play styles. I wish there were more VTubers who like don't hide their relationship. All of these people keep running their mouth, but then when there is a VTuber who provides content exactly as they're saying, they're not gonna go watch them. They're just running their mouth.
Yeah.
And they're complaining for the sake of complaining, just to complain about complaining about the complaints. That's all they do. They don't actually care. Sorry. It just been really frustrating me. There's a VTuber for everyone. There is, but those people, they just complain. They don't actually want that. They'll still be watching the person to whom they're complaining about because they just want to complain.
Need a little amount, but when it's a lot, like, all right, it doesn't feel like a joke anymore, you know? And, you know, it's very toxic. And a lot of like male VTubers genuinely were just like despairing and having a bad time because they were like, I don't feel like I belong here. I remember how bad it was for them, right? And then
like the people who are complaining about, for example, like the male VTubers, you ask them, okay, how many male VTubers do you watch? It's always 0 because there's a lot of different kind of guy VTubers.
No, there is quite a bit. The one that I would watch, or at least like I up until recently, was Mugen.
Yeah.
But that's only when like Lifu watches Mugen that I watch Mugen as well.
Yeah, like for example, you have Mugen for drama, you have Kenji for absolute regular YouTube stuff. You have Kenji for that. And we're talking about those two in the West, right? There's a lot of gaming male VTubers. All they do is like straight gameplay. There's a Japanese one that does straight gameplay. Like, people are just tripping.
Yeah.
Like Niji had their male group, right? They had Luxium that they showed off and they popped off. And then like all those people like quieted down. And I was like, you guys are so annoying. And the worst was some of those people were like replying to some of them being like, I always knew you'd make it. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. Because even if you were not—
No offense, but most of the VTubers I watch nowadays are male. Honestly, a lot of people who watch us, not at all everyone, but a lot of people who watch us, they tend to not want to watch like VTubers. The only reason they tolerate me is because they think I'm an unk. Not like a literal unk with a penis and everything, but they just think I'm an unk.
Lifu gives unk vibes.
Yeah. Like, I get that a lot of female VTubers, they do the whole, look at my breast, blah, 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 blah. You know?
What the fuck? What was that?
You know what I'm making fun of, okay? I get it. Like, I get it. I get not wanting to watch that, for each their own, right? But there's genuinely a lot of women who are VTubers who give off the unk attitude. And all they want to do is like play games and talk shit. The fuck?
Cosmic, how you been, man? What an interesting thing to walk into. I feel like whenever Cosmic comes by, he shows up at the weirdest time.
Flip it, you die.
Never do that again.
nice to them individually. Your posts that you would make all the time that were like anti-man made them feel bad, you know?
Keep tubing. Move along, tubing tourists.
True.
You'll never be a real tuber and or fan of tubers.
Yeah. No, they were like that at the time, though. They were. So, like, I don't know, when people are like, oh, the good times, I'm like, yeah, but there was always, like, shit going on that was also, like, So
I don't understand what people are talking about, like, the good time. Like, I genuinely don't. If anything, it's so much better to be a VTuber right now because you have less pressure of being an idol VTuber or being a sexual VTuber. There's so much less pressure. It's oversaturated as fuck right now, so it's gonna be harder to grow, but you have so much less pressure on how you should act, how you should talk, and what kind of content you should put out there. I follow Lifu specifically for the pizza face cat meme, the one with Lifu face on the pizza and she's saying nerd. It makes me smile every time. It's a good meme. It's a good meme.
Yeah, I personally like that meme a lot.
Same.
I don't think we're in a good or bad time. I think we're actually in the best time right now, which I know some people will be like, oh my God, but everything exploded last year or whatever. I think we're in a really good time because we're in this acceptance phase where people they've had the wool pulled over their eyes for a while and now they're—
Wait, gatekeep VTubing from normie streamers and the normie audience who roast VTubers and call them cringe. Are they wrong though? Like, for example, look at us. You want to tell us we're not cringe? You want to tell me VTubing is not cringe? Come on, brother.
Yo, roll it back 30 seconds when she did that thing.
Shut up. VTubing is cringe, but also just content creation in general is so fucking cringe.
Charlie says to be cringe is to be free.
Exactly. Charlie gets it. I could be an idol, but I don't have the time. That means you couldn't be an idol.
Wait, is that a manga? That sounds like a manga title.
Oh.
I could be an idol, but I don't have the time.
Okay.
Being more realistic, right? And I think a lot of people are waking up a little to doing what they want to actually do, realizing that there aren't too many metas that they have to follow. They can just create and have a good time with it. And if it works, it works.
Exactly.
People are taking a little more ownership over their brands and their business. You know what I mean?
Like, can you imagine what 3 to 4 years ago, not even 3 to 4, like 5 years ago, being a VTuber married couple? Can you imagine that? Even in the West, I don't see it will have working out.
No.
I'm glad we started so freaking late, because when we would have started, we probably would have tried it, got burnt the fuck out, and never bothered again.
Yeah.
And so I
Oh,
feel
the Geega emote.
Oh, hell yeah.
like it's actually gotten really good the past year. A lot more VTubers are, I feel like they're just relaxing a bit. Like you still see people doing about time lipping on conversations on Twitter on the same shit over and over, whatever. But
Yeah.
overall, I feel like a lot of them have relaxed and feel
You're anyone who
more in
thinks
control,
tubing
you know?
can't-
I think a lot of like the really toxic shit from back in the day is gone. So I'm glad. Like the fact that Very Toxic Agency got dismantled was like a major positive. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that shit could have been going on even now and people wouldn't know how bad it is. And I understand like it's nice when you can just be oblivious and be like, yay, everything's fun. But it's much better for that stuff to be exposed, those companies or those people to go away, and then people to just move on and do things like in a good environment, you know? And it's not just that scenario, not just like one agency, just in general. I feel like a lot of that has happened. One thing that's good is I'm feeling like with every cancellation that happens, people are more and more skeptical. They still jump immediately onto canceling people, but like there's more skepticism of people being like, let me wait for the so-and-so statement, you know, or this could have stayed in DMs, right? There's like more of that, you know, the reasonable every time.
Yep.
So I'm just like, well, you know, it'll
Like, I honestly don't disagree with her, but at the same time, I do disagree with her, because with it being so normalized, like letting people do whatever the fuck they want, people are becoming more and more drama hungry, because they know it's also normalized right now to just kind of spread it all out there. Just like publicly air your dirty laundry out. It's normalized, especially in the VTuber scene. It's normalized so much more now to be publicly messy.
it'll keep going up slowly, right?
Like, best example, right? Like the chick that talked about being married but also having a boyfriend. Do you think 5 years ago that would have worked? Publicly being able to say that as a VTuber?
Nope.
Oh my god, you guys, did you know Lifu kills Zen? Ew. Okay, buddy. Random question. If you guys had a Gamersoft flavor, what would the flavor entitled be? We already talked about it. I don't remember.
You were the one that asked us that.
Mm.
No, he asked that same question and we answered him.
So I don't know. I actually feel like we're
Fenrir.
Good night, Fenrir.
just like, well, you know, it'll keep going up slowly, right? So I don't know. I actually feel like we're in a really good time right now. It may not feel like it because, you know, reality is more apparent, I guess, but you know, I think we're doing all right. I think we're doing okay.
Nah, the VTuber scene is better, if anything. I kind of miss certain VTubers doing collabs. Unfortunately, when politics and different opinions, there are a fan base hating on the VTubers. That part doesn't have anything to do with like being a VTuber or not. That part has everything to do with the fact that people always been like that. Like,
Yeah.
right now, we went from people hiding behind a mask of their VTuber model and playing a role to that mask falling off and people finding out who they really are as people. Right now, we're at the era of the more, not controversial. What's the word? No, actually, controversial works for this. Right now, we're like at a time where it's like an era of VTubers. The more controversial you are and the more you quote unquote act as if you're going against the grain, the more it's rewarding people right now. Like, we went from VTubers divisive. Yes, divisive would have been a better word than controversial. Yes. We went from an extreme idol culture in VTubing to an extreme part of VTubing needing and having to be divisive to even grow. So it's gonna be the same thing as with normal content creation. There's gonna be like different metas. Like even like Twitch went through like different metas. It went from being an actual gaming website to being like hot tub metas to being butthole metas, whatever. Each content creation niche is gonna have its own metas and it's gonna have its own like evolution stages. Like right now, like the meta in like VTubing is being divisive, but like there's also a niche meta where like the constant joke of like mold, eating mold, becoming one with the mold. Like there's gonna be like those constant arcs in the scene. Also, VTubers vague posting is not helping keeping the mask on. People are gonna, it's not just VTubers, people will always vague post because they want the attention without getting the heat.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Vague posting, it's the same as in real life. It's like, you know, there's this person, I heard she cheated on her boyfriend, but I cannot tell you who, I promise. It's like, it's just people wanting to get attention without, you know,
The smoke.
I wanted to say without getting punted in the nose. I'm still surprised hot tub streams were a thing, but to a point where it's like a whole category now. It reminds me, was there ever an aftermath of the whole VShojo incident? Like when they getting sued or something, they're bankrupt. The company shut down.
Yeah, they're gone.
But they get the heat anyway on Ask Why Everyone is Mad at Them. Well, here's the thing. They get heat right now by people who are also trying to get attention and traction from the vague post. So it's one attention whore farming off of another attention whore.
Maybe I'm thinking, but can I have an example of a divisive VTuber?
I think the best example of a divisive VTuber right now would be Powder. She is actively and intentionally rage baiting and going against the grain because she knows it works. She openly herself said that she only says specific things because she knows it's gonna get her attention. She's not hiding it. She's publicly talking about it in her tweets, in her streams, in her videos. She knows it gets attention. So she would be a good example of being divisive and it working for her. So right now, it's all about being that. It's a vicious cycle. Yeah, the vague posting is a vicious cycle.
Dude, vague posting sounds exhausting.
Yeah, it really is. Leaflet is also divisive to an extent. I wouldn't say Leaflet is divisive. If you're referring to the whole AI stuff, no. AI was divisive like a little bit ago, like 2 years ago. AI is not divisive anymore. It is getting normalized with normal people now. So yeah, I wouldn't say she's divisive. Even her takes on AI is not divisive anymore. Right now, you only see like the crazy people on Twitter crashing out at her. Let's not forget about Cinder and all the that from last year, dude. When I heard Tricky V's take on what Cinder did, I still cry about it. I don't know. I don't really care much about Tricky V because she was one of the people celebrating, like, you know, unaliving attempts. So don't really care much for her. As for the Cinder stuff, I already publicly said I was wrong with judging Cinder so hard. I already publicly say that. That's why I kind of dropped talking about her drama. I never knew she talked about AI. Leaflet, she talks about AI a lot. Sometimes you don't even need to try, just have an opinion that seems reasonable, boom, instant hate. Oh yeah, that's pretty much a daily thing. When you're online, when you post anything online, there is gonna be at least one person who's gonna be mad at it.
Oh yeah, because they want problems all the time.
Like you can post like a tweet with a picture of an apple, say that was a delicious apple, and people are gonna cause issues with that. It was really sad, but yeah, it turns out the whole group was just straight up creepy. So I stay out of it. They each got their own problems. You know why? You know why every single big VTuber has their own problem? Because they're people. I think that's what people need to come to grips with. The VTubers are just normal people who are fucked up in the head. Because every single person is fucked up in the head.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, you guys have to realize that all the content creators are people. Just because they put on facade or do a perfect cutout during their video doesn't mean they're perfect. It's very skewed to think that content creators and streamers are perfect.
I think there's a big problem with like people idealizing others.
Yeah,
I thought Fillion wiped all her stuff recently. She has.
VTubers are normal, but my immersion.
This was a nice, refreshing topic, though.
It is.
I
Yeah.
like this a lot. We should do these more often.
Charlie says to be fair, that's Twitter. I don't
That's
know.
not just Twitter.
Yeah, it's all over the place.
Yeah. Drama is gonna be everywhere and anywhere where there's people. People inherently are dramatic, and people inherently will cause drama, and people inherently will poke.